First-person shooters come and go, but some of them keep showing up even decades after their initial release. One such game series is Timesplitters, and it reappears especially in comments that start with remaster and end with please. As far as sales go, it was not one of the big hitters of PlayStation 2, but it managed to stand out massively from its competitors with its unique mix of style, atmosphere, and its gripping, frantic pace. There were 3 Timesplitters games that got made before the game studio Free Radical shut down: Timesplitters 1 and 2, and Timesplitters Future Perfect. It was tough to choose which of these games to present on the top 100 list, because they would have each occupied a spot pretty close to each other. I've chosen Timesplitters 2 to represent the series, because it's the one I played most by far, and I think it's the one newcomers would be best to start off with, and here's why. It's the best offline multiplayer shooter game I can think of, also for couch co-op in split screen. It's also the best first-person shooter game I can think of where there's time travel, different eras where you use separate sets of guns that are all still balanced and fun to blast with. The secret to this tasty blend lies within the core mechanics of the guns themselves. They have a huge variety of bullet travel patterns and projectile speeds, reload mechanics and alternate fire modes, as well as pretty impressive visuals. Dual wielding is so much fun, and some weapon combos make some serious noise. Enemies may or may not flinch when you shoot them depending on their difficulty settings. There are also slides you can pull off, and just a whole bunch of little tweaks here and there that make things interesting. Combined with the diverse set of enemies to fire at and the excellent pacing of it all makes it a classic title already. There are no cover mechanics, which means that if you want protection from enemy shots, you got to use line of sight blockers. If you're in a room full of enemies and you decide to just stand still while shooting back at them, you can expect to get riddled full of holes before you can mow them all down. Simplicity and challenge that just works. In the campaign there are also puzzle elements in some stages, like in the Wild West level you'll be making a line of gunpowder and using explosives to bust your partner out of jail. In the Aztec level you'll be lighting your crossbow arrows on fire to deal damage to wooden golems, and in the Robot Factory level you'll be using remote control turrets to take out an energy node, just to name a few examples. The main plot of the campaign takes place in the year 2401, where you play as Sergeant Cortez accompanied by Corporal Hart. You take over a space station with a time portal device that connects to different places and years in history. The reason why you're visiting all of these different times and places are these Timesplitters, a malevolent alien race who have gained control of these time crystals and are now hopping through the portal to change history and lead to the enslavement of mankind. He who controls the crystals controls time itself, and all of humanity is at stake if you can't get them back. Whenever Cortez enters the past through the portal, they transform into other persons or beings in the target universe. The cutscenes are pretty badass, especially for the time this game was made. You'll find all kinds of craziness in these videos, to the point where you'll find it hard to believe they're all from the same game. Let's take a quick look through all the campaign levels. There's Siberia, where you sabotage a covert Timesplitter test laboratory. Chicago, where you dismantle the schemes of a crazed mob boss. Notre Dame, where you fight the undead with the Hunchback and destroy the portal demon. Return to Planet X, where you try to survive after crashing into the middle of an alien war zone. Neo Tokyo, where you infiltrate and gather evidence at a hidden hacker base doing Timesplitter research. There's a lengthy and pretty challenging stealth section at the start of this mission, by the way. I love the way our target doesn't turn to look when someone headbutts their way in through a shop front window to hide from the popo. Wild West, where you defend the people of a small town against a crooked colonel in 1853.
Maybe I'll go easy.
Atom Smasher, where you play as the quote suave and daring international playboy Special Agent Harry Tipper and stop a madman from unleashing the power of subatomic particles on the world. Then there's Aztec Ruins, where you investigate dark powers dwelling within an ancient temple deep in the jungle. Robot Factory, where you travel to 2315 and overload the energy nodes of a combat robot production facility. And finally, Space Station, where you are in the current time of 2401 and have to escape with the time crystals you've collected while blowing up the whole facility with a self-destruct mechanism. The single-player plot can be finished relatively fast on normal difficulty, but damn, it's a lot of fun. There's so much hectic shooting, cool effects, and destructible environments, as well as hidden Easter eggs to look for, all while listening to this fantastic game soundtrack that consists of rockin' electronic beats and themed scores that suit the atmosphere in each stage. For this playthrough, I found out something extra special. You can find instructions on how to make Timesplitters 2 work with the mouse and keyboard using the Dolphin emulator. It's definitely worth the trouble, especially if you were a fan of the original game but found the controls a bit tricky to use. Gotta admit, it also makes the game a lot easier too. That's still not the biggest positive thing this emulator can do for you. You can play the entire single-player campaign and all the other game modes in co-op over the net. Yes, it's doable! I just found out before I started editing this video. After finishing the single-player campaign, there are 2 modes that you definitely need to visit, and they can both be found in Arcade. Arcade mode in general introduces some new features more in the style of Quake or Unreal games, like power-ups for extra damage, cloaking and speed, as well as classic game modes like Zones, Team Deathmatch and Kill Confirmed. First, there are the arcade leagues, where you try to complete missions that give you a bronze, silver, gold or platinum trophy. You can go on a deathmatch rocket rampage on a bunch of robots. Break your way into a compound against a team of lawyers in assault mode. Play a round of Capture the Bag versus a team of riot police. There's loads of these missions. In one mission you'll even have to fight off rampaging gingerbread guys with miniguns. If you've ever gone through the trouble of getting platinum on everything, then you deserve a cookie. There are also challenges where you might break windows by tossing bricks through them as fast as possible, or complete mini snatch and grab missions, Timesplitters 1 style. In the first game, the Timesplitters would come after you when you grabbed a certain artifact in a stage, see? There was one challenge that I got slightly addicted to for some reason. It's a really simple zombie defense mission where you have respawning shotgun ammo, a small room to defend, and a whole bunch of zombies coming in from several directions. The zombies start to spawn more rapidly and move faster the further in the levels you go. I remember this from before, and I think I got the platinum medal last time, but I'm pretty sure this is a new personal best. It took me about an hour, but I got up to wave 56 and way over 600,000 points. How can something so simple be so satisfying? At any given time you can take all of these game modes, rules, difficulty settings and other variables to the custom arcade and start designing your own challenges and matchups for you and your friends to enjoy. You can go completely crazy with these match setups. Speaking of which, there's one more thing we used to do back in the days with my big bro and cousin. We used to play custom arcade fights against a full team of impersonators. So here we go, slappers only in a Chinese heartbreak hotel. It's now or never, mama. Thank you very much. Uh-oh, looks like I haven't got a chance. It's not so easy to take down the king of rock and roll, even impersonating ones like these guys. But I'll tell you what, it would be pretty king if this game did indeed get a full-on remaster. There's a group of fans working on Timesplitters Rewind, which looks to be a remaster aiming for the multiplayer aspects especially. Also, Koch Media have bought the Timesplitters IP and may or may not be planning a Timesplitters 4. There's some conflict with the sources as far as I could tell, so I'll wait for an official word on that. So, hats off to this game and everyone involved with making it and keeping it alive. Let's hop through the portal to the next game on the list.